and welcome back to another episode of Novelty with S&B, the book club with podcast. I'm your co-host, Beck.
And I'm Stephanie.
This is our July Wrapped episode for those who are coming back to us, and our first live stream. I'm so nervous. For those of you new here, once a month we dive into the pages of our latest reads and share our thoughts and stories that captivate us.
So let us know what our listeners have to look forward to in this installment.
Yeah, so over July I read Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry, Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft, and After the Forest by Kell. What about you?
I also read A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft, A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas, and The Haar by David Sodergren. I actually DNF'd Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter, so that one I did not finish.
Oh no. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So do you want to start with Court of Silver Flames?
Yes, so Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas, the last that's released in the series so far. So I started that one on June 21st and finished it July 4th. It is 757 pages, and I read it on my Kindle. So I have been
7 pages, dude.
I know. And I've been reviewing ACOTAR books, but as per usual, I don't want to give out spoilers, so I can't give a summary of the plot without giving away some major spoilers. So with that, my review is also going to be very vague. But if you want to hear what we thought of this series in detail, you can check out our last Thirsty episode where we did our Oops All ACOTAR segment, and it was so much fun. And yeah, we had a blast doing that. And you can listen to that and you'll hear all our thoughts and theories on all things ACOTAR. So if you have read the series and you want to hear more, go ahead and give it a listen. So my thoughts are, like I said, very vague because I don't want to give anything away to anyone who hasn't read it. But this was my least favorite book in the series. It's by no means bad. That it's not a bad book. It's worth the read, definitely, especially if you're invested in the series. I just didn't get the feels that I had with the first 3, where I was just in love with those. I have a lot of thoughts on the main characters who are featured in this book. I'm very curious about where the next book in the series will go. So if you want more ACOTAR content, like I said, go ahead and give our last Thirsty episode a listen. It's available on whatever platform you listen to us on. So check that out. Recommendation, yes. Of course, if you're reading the series, read it. It's not bad, just not what I expected. I will say this book is super spicy.
Yes.
Especially when you compare it to the others, this one was the spiciest, but it's not a bad thing. And Maas, she does a really good job with it where it doesn't overshadow the plot. So right, I think that's important to know. So that was the shortest review
I could possibly give.
I just didn't want to give out spoilers. So.
Well, no. And I will say though, I was fine without it. So if you're looking at just reading Court of Thorns and Roses, the series, I was personally fine with just 1 through 3, but if you want to know where the story goes, continue.
Yeah, and I want to read the next one too. So you're gonna have to read that one to read the next one. I know, but you could honestly just read the first 3. You really could.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's all I have for that. But so I'm super curious to hear about this 900-page novel you read. So tell us all about it.
Yeah, I read Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. It is a Western, as you can tell by the cover here, it is a Pulitzer Prize winning novel. It's supposed to be this huge epic tome of the Western, the prairie days, basically. The plot summary is very short, but here it is. Journey to the dusty little Texas town of Lonesome Dove and meet an unforgivable assortment of heroes and outlaws, whores and ladies, Indians and settlers. Richly authentic, beautifully written, always dramatic, Lonesome Dove is a book to make us laugh, weep, dream, and remember. So for a 900-page book, that is very short. You don't really get a whole lot out of that. It is a Libby app download, which is a great little thing that you can download if you have access to your library card. There are some libraries too that allow you to have like a free membership as long as you live in the state. So look into that if you're interested. But for such a small blurb, for such a long book, I'm going to get a little more into detail because I feel like that wasn't quite enough. But our main characters, Call and Gus, are ex-Texas Rangers living on a small cattle ranch in Lonesome Dove, Texas, with an assortment of other characters. And things are going just fine, albeit maybe a little slow until another ex-Ranger comes along, Jake. Just saying. Um, he just killed a man in Arkansas, and he tells them how swell Montana would be for cattlemen, and they're cattlemen themselves. Our boys and their entire outfit, including a whore and a pianist, decide to pack up and drive the cattle north. Obviously, they run into their fair share of trouble along the way, and uh, Indians, Mexicans, those types of things. I didn't hate it. I don't. I don't see how it was a Pulitzer Prize winner, though,
Oh,
personally.
really? It
Yeah,
was.
it was.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was a good story, it was a good book, but it was a little tedious at times. And obviously, it's not going to pass the Bechdel test where, like, two women have to have a conversation about something other than men.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the women are generally treated pretty terribly, like, they're just, I don't know,
So it's
possessions.
accurate to the
Yeah,
time.
that's the thing that I will say about it is that it is very accurate for the times because it was dirty, it was gritty, there was terrible, terrible things that happened, and I feel like I could have just read a Splatterpunk.
Oh my gosh. It was that intense, huh?
Well, there's scalping, there's I don't know if I can say rape on the well, I just did, so whatever.
Grape. Grape.
Yeah, rape. Disembowelment, another word that I spelt wrong, but I didn't want to search. And like really heinous murders, like, and you get them in detail, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And do not get attached to any of these characters at all because,
Oh no.
yeah,
Oh no.
yeah. Um, and the women all have to go through something like terrible in order to be like treated like a human, which is weird.
Mm,
But
yeah.
I will also say that it's important to note that although the two main characters, Gus and Call, are like these living legends, um, like Texas Rangers that can kill a man if need be, McMurtry doesn't paint all Native Americans as bad people or like the bad baddies or all white settlers as the good guys. Like there's obvious gray areas, there's murder on both sides, like we're taking
Hmm.
their land, obviously, like it doesn't go like, oh, the white people are the good people, which is good.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Again,
Um,
accurate.
accurate, yeah. There are some like it was written in the 1980s, so it does have some problematic themes outside of what I've already touched on, but I won't get too into it because I feel like,
Yeah.
eh, um,
Yeah.
but I mean, I would recommend it. It was a good book. It's not a 5 star for me personally.
Right. Right.
And especially if you found the storyline of Red Dead Redemption interesting, especially how heartbreaking Red Dead is, with the deaths and the sadness. Um, I will give it 3 carrots, which is what the cowpoke call their members, which was fun.
That's
Get a
cute.
poke with your carrot. Yeah. Um,
That's
Also,
cute.
side note, if anybody knows of a scary cowboys book with it like the same vibe, like, terrors of the land, but also terrors of the spirit, I would be so down. I would read that so fast. So, if there's anybody that
Let her
knows,
know.
let me know.
Yeah.
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 What about you?
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna get into the Haar by David Sodergren. So it's a horror. I seem to have a monthly horror. It's like a theme with me lately.
Hmm.
So this month it's this gem, which it was a gem. So I started it on July 4th and finished it on July 8th. 206 pages, and it is available on Kindle Unlimited. So the summary is I don't fear death, but they do. Muriel Macaulay has lived in the Scottish fishing village of Witch Haven all her life. She was born there and she intends to die there. But when an overseas property developer threatens to evict the residents from their homes and raze Witch Haven to the ground in the name of progress, all seems lost. Until the day a mysterious fog bank creeps inland. The Haar. To some, it brings redemption. To others, it brings only madness and death. What macabre secrets lie within the Haar? Oh my God. So, I loved this book so much. I saw someone calling this book a sentimental horror, and that is the best way to describe it. Which
Yeah.
sounds odd, but you would like I'd be reading it, and within like the same paragraph, I'm saying "ew," and then I'm going "oh," like right after. So,
Oh.
um, I know there's like oh, it's such a good book, but our female main character, she's 84 years old, which is so sweet. And she lives alone on a Scottish island, and her husband has passed, and her kids are grown, and they have moved.
Hashtag goals.
So yeah, she yeah, she talks to herself because her house is too quiet, and oh, it's like oh no. But with all that, she does enjoy her peaceful little plot on Witch Haven, and she refuses to leave. So she doesn't care how much is offered. So a lot of people have moved away from the island because this billionaire has offered them so much money. But
As one does.
she is
Yeah.
she's not leaving. She's like, I'm old, like born here. My husband built this house. I'm gonna die here. Like that's what she wants. But she when a billionaire and his cronies attempt to bully her off the land, she definitely gets some intense revenge with a little help from a friend, we'll say. It's a mysterious thing that washes up ashore when the Haar comes in, which is the fog bank. And you would just have to read it because it's so much. But this Haar can take form of any human. It can get into your memories, and it feeds off of people to live. And
Oh,
she
yummy.
is. They become homies though. So it's insane. It's an insane book. But I loved it. It is gory, but there's also a happily ever after in a way, in a sort of way. So, um, it's a blood-soaked road to said happily ever after, but it is a happily ever after nonetheless.
Which is weird,
Um,
you know.
I know you would have to read it. It's I loved it.
And it's only
I will
206 pages. I might. It's on Kindle Unlimited
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
Kindle Unlimited. So I will be reading more David Sodergren books for sure. So he wrote Maggie's Grave, which
Hmm.
I have seen a lot in the horror community. So I'll probably give that a read soon. But I 100% recommend it. Trigger warning. I mean, it is gory. It's very gory. It's not quite splatterpunk because the whole book isn't just like gore like splatterpunk is, but it's definitely there. So just so you know, it's pretty. I mean, after what you were talking about reading
Yeah.
and you're this you'll be
And
fine.
a
And
normal
it's
book, by the way. Like old people
yeah,
love to recommend this book.
yeah, and this
Yeah.
is only 200 pages, not 900, so you'll be fine. But
Jesus.
some people that does get to some people, so
Of course. Yeah.
just know. But I think it's a great starter. So if anybody is like wanting to get into the horror genre and they don't know if they can like how much they could take, I think this would be a good starter because if it's too much, then you probably shouldn't go any farther. But not only that, because if you're new to horror, this is nice because the storyline is so beautiful and it's written so well. And it's not just like gore to be gore. There's so much going on with the story. And you fall in love with Mario and you want nothing but the best for her. So, yeah, I recommend it. It was really good. Really, really good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I liked it.
I
So,
liked it.
I did. I actually loved it. I gave it 4 stars on my Goodreads.
Did
So,
you
I really
really?
enjoyed it. Yeah, man. Yeah,
What
it
what
was
kept it
so
from
good.
being a 5 star for you? Just because it's like a horror or what?
Um, I didn't. Yeah, it's short. I would have liked. I like. to know. There's more things I think they could have gotten into that I would have been interested in, and
Yeah.
that's where it kind of lacks. But it's still good, just not perfect, which is fine. It's great. That's the
Good, not
highest
great.
horror book I've
Yeah.
ever rated. So
Yeah, I was gonna say.
yeah, it and only 200 pages. Like, just read it. It's so good. I want you to read it.
I'll get around
It's
to it.
so good. Yeah. Okay, so what's your next read you'll be reviewing for us?
I read After the Woods by Kell Woods. Interesting.
What's in all the
It's
woods?
it's marketed as a fantasy romance, but the romance theme isn't quite as intense as some of the other books that we've read. So just know that going in. It is Kindle Unlimited. It was 373 pages. I finished it um, July 24th, which is just after I got back from Sequoia National Park.
Hmm.
The plot summary: ginger, honey, cinnamon, flower, a drop of blood to bind its power. In 1650, the Black Forest, Württemberg. Oh, hold on.
Württemberg.
Is that how you say it? It's
The
Köln.
W's are V's.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
the
look
W's
at
are
you.
V's. Cool. Yeah.
Köln. 15 years after the witch in the gingerbread house, Greta and Hans are struggling to get by. Their mother and stepmother are long dead. Hans is deeply in debt from gambling, and the countryside lies in ruin. As people are recovering from the aftermath of a brutal war, Greta has a secret, a witch's grimoire, secreted away and whispering in her ear, and the recipe inside that makes the most sinfully delicious and addictive gingerbread. As long as she can bake, Greta can keep her small family afloat. But in the village full of superstition, Greta and her intoxicating gingerbread is a source of ever-growing suspicion and vicious gossip. And now, dark magic is returning to the woods, and Greta's own powers, magic she is trying to understand, may be the only thing that can save her if it doesn't kill her first. Jesus
Mm.
Christ. Okay. Baking, forests, and magic? Yes.
Yeah.
Wolves, foxes, and bears? Even better. So good. Again, I did read this on the road to and from Sequoia National Park, and like I didn't intend for it to be as thematic as it ended up being, but it worked out. And like I think it like stirred a little bit of like now I want to go to all the national parks, even though that's going to be like an impossible task. But um, and it's set in the Black Forest, which you have been to, yes.
I have. I have. I got a cuckoo clock from there. Super pretty there.
It is
I
very
enjoyed
pretty
it.
there.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's plenty of German words. You know, I maybe should have had you read it because there's German words that I couldn't even pretend to pronounce.
Well, I don't speak fluent German by any stretch of the mind. So I just know how to pronounce some of it, especially the cities and towns, because I drove through a lot of those areas. So um, I kind of know how. I know their W's are V's and their V's are W's, and that's one a lot of people get
Confused.
mixed up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Stevemo.
yes, Volkswagen, you know,
Gross.
VW. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, it is.
It is another of Tor Publishing, who we know as the publisher for our bestie T. Kingfisher. Um, they're the ones that,
Yeah,
yeah, which is pretty
I love
cool.
her. Yeah.
Which I was talking to Belinda about this yesterday. They stopped over.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, how do you choose books? I was like, well, you know, TikTok, I didn't tell her this part, but TikTok like it used to be what I would go by, but I think there's just too many that are overhyped and terrible. Um,
Yeah.
but I've been really digging Tor Publishing Group, so like I think moving forward I'm gonna try to find more of theirs, especially if they're on Kindle Unlimited, because
Oh yeah.
they hit the vibe, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So
That's a
it
good
does
idea.
have dark themes and horror elements into it, which is surprising because it wasn't marketed as like horror, but there is pretty dark things that happen. Near the end there was some animal cruelty, which I didn't love, but it did make sense for the story. Not that
Hmm.
I should ever explain animal abuse away, but it was there.
Yeah.
Um, the romance was believable. And what's strange to me is that it had just as much spice because it mostly took place off page as our
Hmm.
next book, which was marketed as a young adult book, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Um, Scratching my chin on that one a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah.
I would 100% recommend this book. Go ahead, go read it. It's a lot of fun, and like
Mm.
part of the story is that there's two stories that are coming together, and like you're trying to figure out what actually happened to Hans and Gretel because they were children, so they don't have all of their memories. So getting back to
Yeah.
the memory is pretty cool too.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's on Kindle Unlimited. Go read it. Go read it now.
Cool.
Go. Just
I'll have
kidding.
to check it out. Not now. After we're
Right
done.
now.
Yeah.
Just starts reading.
Yeah. So our next book was our book club book, our Read with SMBs. So it was A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft, a fantasy romance. 373 pages, and it's on Kindle Unlimited as well.
Hmm.
I finished it July 18th.
Look at
And
us.
I know.
July
Could you
19th.
look at that?
Look at
Super
us.
cute.
Who
I
would have
know.
thought? Not me.
Who would have thought? So, you want me to do the summary then?
If you would like to, I can do it
Yeah,
too. Okay.
I'll do it. That's
Okay.
fine. Um, it's funny actually because her name, the way I was pronouncing it,
Was name.
um, while I was reading it, is so completely different than how you're supposed to
Yeah.
pronounce it. But anyways, so Neve O'Connor has been let or has never let herself long for more. The magic in her blood that lets her stitch emotions and memories into fabric is the same magic that will eventually kill her. Determined to spend the little time she has left guaranteeing a better life for her family, Neve jumps at the chance to design the wardrobe for a royal wedding in the neighboring kingdom of Avaland. But Avaland is far from the fairy tale that she imagined. While young nobles attend candlelit balls and elegant garden parties, unrest brews amid the working class. The groom himself, Kit Carmine, is prickly, abrasive, and begrudgingly being dragged to the altar as a political pawn. But when Neve and Kit grow closer, an unlikely friendship blossoms into something more until an anonymous columnist starts buzzing about their chemistry, promising to leave them alone only if Neve helps to uncover the royal family's secrets. The rot at the heart of Avalan runs deep, but exposing it could risk a future she never let herself dream of, and a love she never thought possible. So, it was so cute.
It was very cute.
This was a cute book, and I mean that in a like the best way. It was romance and fantasy and magic and all the fun things. Very fairy tale esque, I would
Hmm.
say. I'm actually surprised I liked it so much
I
because
know.
I really did enjoy it. It was just written well. I just enjoyed it. Was our FMC naive? Yes.
Hmm.
Was
Hmm.
it a bit corny? Also, yes. Like, of course it
Hmm.
was.
Hmm.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
but
Duh.
it it's definitely romance focused, and you need to go into it not looking too much into the details because I think if you do that, you might be somewhat like it might feel like a cliffhanger because I was left with a lot of questions like, "Oop, this is not going to fare well with the people," but then it was like the end. But I
Ta-da.
was digging. Yeah, I'm digging deep where it wasn't necessary, and I think like reading all this mass, like she ruined me. All the Sarah J Maas is like
Yes.
just ruined me with that because I'm always digging, so you need
Have
not do
fun,
that with
Lynn.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, if you just want a cute romance with a bit of magic, this is definitely it. Don't think too much or analyze things because you may be disappointed. I did see that this had a lot of mixed reviews, and a lot of it, I think a lot of people who read it were
Expecting more.
uh expecting more, and it's a cute cozy romance. Like that's what it is. It is YA. However,
Yeah.
I was surprised with I'll call it steam. I don't think it was quite spice, but there are some steamy scenes. Like I'm reading this, like my daughter could read this. It's not
Yeah.
like terrible or anything, but it was just more than what I expected. But that's okay, you know.
I
But
put that in my notes too. Is like, um, there are spicy moments. Implied spice, heating cores, which is odd for a book. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and it's young adult. Like that's it's
that's
a
what it's
YA.
marketed at. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, that was kind of odd. But what did you think? What were your thoughts on it?
I enjoyed the book too. After, you know,
Mhm.
getting my guts and my heart like pulled out with Lonesome Dove, it was a nice palate cleanser. It was soft, it was cozy. There wasn't like too much conflict, which like made me feel like so at ease after reading Lonesome Dove. Because like you just, you need a
Yeah, it's like
break sometimes.
when you
Yeah,
watch like a really scary movie and then you have to put something happy on
like
after. Like
SpongeBob. Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Um, I enjoyed the characters, and I did feel like it was kind of a gentle reminder to start to focus on, the things that do actually make you happy and bring you joy. Um, quote, when she thought of what made her happy, truly happy, it looks like this. Brandy in a cozy room with someone who might be her friend again. It looks like playing long games in the summer or curling up in the rain or embroidering absentmindedly while he tended to his garden or his greenhouse. It looked like 1,000 quiet moments, each of them as small as a candle flame. I it's interesting because a lot of the books I've been reading lately have the same thematic expression throughout them as far as like, find your happiness, slow down,
Yeah.
you know, which is really
Hmm.
interesting that how that happens. But it is just like a continuous reminder of like, life is sucks. Life sucks and it's hard and it's bad, but you have to find happiness in like the little things, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's
And
also fleeting, so you
yeah,
don't want to yeah.
and
I
do
hear
do
you.
more things that make you happy, which, reading makes me happy. Books,
Yeah, yeah.
escape
Yeah.
reality. I
Yep.
sent that to you recently.
Yeah, I saw it.
So bad. Um, as far as rating, yeah, go read it. If you are looking for something that is soft and cozy and gives you feelings without too much tension, yeah, go read it.
Yeah. If you're in the mood for something like lighthearted or
Hmm.
romantic with a little bit of magic, I think you will enjoy this. The magic is fun. How she can so feeling into fabric and what you wear made by her affects how people see you, how you feel. Like I thought that was so neat. Like
That
the
is
magic is
really
fun.
neat. Yeah,
I've
that
never heard of anything like that. So I thought that was really
unique.
like a really
Hmm.
that's what made me want to read it. I remember when I told you about this and I just thought the magic was so I'm like that is so cool. Like what a fun little like concept. So yeah, it is nothing I've read like I've as far as the magic goes. And it's not like it doesn't really get deep into the magic by any means, but it's interesting when she sews a garment and it talks about like how she kind of has to clear her mind because if she's
Otherwise,
feeling
yeah.
things yeah it can they will put on the garment and it's like oops I had too much going on but anyways yeah it's
No,
good
I thought
read
that
it.
was really a
Oh,
unique system too.
yeah
Even
for sure.
I forget what Kit Carmine, his magic system was unique too. I felt like
Yeah.
because
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
with
um
plants and stuff. Um,
which was really cool.
mhm. I
Of
was gonna
course you
say
liked
something.
it and some plans.
Plants. I like plants. I like embroidery. I like baking. Like, man, this is it.
Right. Right. It was super fun though. I liked it.
It was
It's
very
cute.
fun.
Mhm.
What? Wow, that actually went by very fast because we both did not read much this
I
month.
know. This is like
Um,
the
in
least we've read in a while.
a long time.
Yeah,
But you recently DNF'd a book.
I did. I heard a lot of good things by Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter.
What
Um,
is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter? Is it horror,
it's
romance?
like a mystery crime. Like this girl gets kidnapped and well it's like oh it's this whole thing because there's these sisters and their sister got kidnapped and then now they're grown and there's this other kidnapping and then you find out all these twists about one of the girls. I don't want to give anything away but there's lots of twists and turns and everything's kind of connected but I DNF to like 40 something percent. I was so bored, like bored. I don't know if I'm just like my brain is like not mystery, but like fantasy, fantasy, fantasy. Like, why are you reading this? What
What
is
is
this?
this?
Like, I don't know what's going on, but it seemed like now I will say if like it was a movie, I feel like the pace would be okay. Um, but as a book, it just wasn't for me. It was really helping my melatonin release at night because I was falling. Have you ever been like, so like when you're
Yes.
holding your Kindle, sometimes my finger, like I fall asleep and wake up and there's like a word highlighted because I my finger like fell on the screen. I didn't even know. I kept falling asleep. I'm like, I can't even finish
You
this.
don't
I heard it gets pretty like graphic and da da da, but
you don't
I
have a
didn't get
Kindle
to that
holder?
yet. So no.
You need it. It's one of the best things I ever. Oh, Jeff got it for me, but it holds my Kindle and I have a page turner. It's the best in bed.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I might need
so good.
something like that. Yeah,
Because
because
otherwise you get like the
I'll be
dent in
dropping
your
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
You got a
yeah. Oh,
finger dent.
I do have the finger dent. My
Yep.
pinkies, I
Hmm.
have one big time. It's funny.
Oh yeah, because
Um.
it's phones too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Anyway, so I DNF that. Just wasn't feeling it. I did start. Oh, this is a hyped up book on TikTok. I need to stop,
Is
but
this
I
a
have to read
cowboy
it.
book?
No,
Oh, it looks like it would be with a name. Go ahead.
no. Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I started it last night. I didn't read much. I was really tired last night, but it's a fantasy romance and everyone's like, "Oh, this is going to be the next big one." And but then I go to like Goodreads and read reviews and I'm like, "No." So I don't know.
No.
I'm going to read it. I'm going to read that and a couple other books, but by the end of this month I will start Throne of Glass. So I just want to get a couple things out of the way.
I'm so
But I do
excited.
want to start that, but that's so long. So I like want to get some stuff out of the way, some shorter books that I want to read, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start Throne of Glass. So I'm super
Clear your
excited.
schedule.
You have to.
No.
I'm really excited for my next Sarah J Maas journey though, because
You
I
miss
want to
it.
read other things, but God, yeah, I want to get back to
Hmm.
her. I really do. Um, so what about you?
I am currently reading The Hike by Drew. Oh, I don't have it up. Hold on. Bear with me.
Okay.
I am not used to
Yeah.
live streaming, so I forgot that I have them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. We
The
can't
Hike.
pause.
There it is. The Hike. It is it's kind of a fun little like fantasy fiction, horror, kind of science fiction book. It's about this guy that is on a um business trip away from his family. He decides to go on a hike in a trail behind his. Again, what is with me and the themes here? Hikes. He goes on this path behind the hotel, and then he ends up getting kind of lost, but in like a existential way with
Right.
a talking crab and a giant woman. It's a whole thing. And a giant cricket too. But it's a lot of fun so far. I just got past a huge twist about 50% through, and so
Ooh.
far it's really fun. I liked it. I like it a lot.
Is this by the torn or whatever?
Oh, Tor
What year?
Publishing? No, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
there it is.
I
Publishing.
just
Sorry.
I had it so I want to say last what do you call it? Prime Days. It was like $1 or it was on
Oh,
sale one of
okay.
these days and I bought it. I'm really trying to get through all the books that I have bought on my Kindle without
Hmm.
like going through like Libby or Kindle Unlimited because I should probably
Right.
just fucking read them. But um,
Yeah.
because I already spent my money. But no, not Tor. But it's a lot of fun.
Oh, the cover's fun.
Yeah, and looking at it, you're like, what is
I like
this?
that.
And
Yeah.
so far, I've met a few of these characters, which makes
Hmm.
me really excited to meet the other ones.
Yeah. Right. Right. Because you're gonna
Yeah,
meet them.
like,
That's
oh,
pretty cool. That's
it's really
fun.
cool.
I
But
like that. I
in the
like that.
book, the crab is blue, not red, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine.
Artist
That's,
rendition.
yeah. There you go. So August's read with S and B will be One Dark Window by Rachel. How do you Gillig? Gillig?
Yeah, I think
Gillig.
so. Oh, did I
That's
not?
how
Yeah,
that's how
I
I'm gonna
didn't.
say it. But
Yeah.
It's like our book club book of the month. So I've been wanting to read this. It has a lot of mixed reviews, but I've
It
been wanting
does,
to
but it
check it
also has
out.
a lot of hype on, what do you call it? TikTok.
Absolutely. Hopefully it's a good hype.
Yeah, right. Um, for those who are curious, Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient, merciful, mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her, he keeps her secrets. But nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth, I'm going to pronounce that wrong forever, meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Thrust into the world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure Blunder from the dark magic infecting it. And the highwayman? He just happens to be the king's nephew, captain of the most dangerous men in Blunder, and guilty of high treason. Together, they must gather 12 Providence cards, the keys to the cure, but as the stakes heighten and their undeniable attraction intensifies, Elspeth is forced to face her darkest secret yet. The nightmare is slowly taking over her mind, and she might not be able to stop him. 339 pages, fantasy for young adult romance. So I'm pretty excited.
Me
Um,
too.
what's the T Kingfisher also has a book coming out. I might read that too in August.
Ooh, yes.
But this is the official
And
read
it,
with S and
y-
B.
yeah, and it's two books, right? There's another one
Mm-hmm.
after this one. Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
might turn into, Fourth Wing all over again.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's happened to us a couple times, but
It has.
hopefully it's good. I've heard, like I said, mixed reviews. I can't go by what TikTok or Goodreads say because like TikTok had a lot of bad things to say by A Fragile Enchantment. I thought it was gorgeous and
Yeah.
cute and
I really liked the
adorable and I
cover
loved
artwork
it.
too.
Yes, it's cute.
It is
So
cute.
I don't care what they say. No. Um this has been so much fun. A little scary, so we might have had some hiccups, not sure.
Maybe.
I guess I had a echo going earlier, so
Yeah, I saw that.
hopefully yeah, hopefully that's all taken care of. We've never done a live. So let us know if you enjoyed it. And do you have anything else?
I
Yep.
don't.
All right.
This has been fun. Hopefully we can do this in the future. Maybe we need to like market it a little better, but I think
Yeah.
so
It
far
was
it was
fun
fun.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you all for joining us on this literary adventure. That's all for today. I'm your co-host Stephanie,
And I'm back.
and this has been Novelty with S&B. See you in the next chapter.